It's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paycor Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. Today we've got a Week 5 matchup in store here, as it'll be the Chicago Bears taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Seems like we were just starting training camp, but here we are in October, and off we go on EA Sports. Velus Jones now from his end zone. Now a crease here as he's past the 30. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35.
37-yard line.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Johnson. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Brings up second and 11 at the 36-yard line.
Again, it's Johnson. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. A Chicago first down there on a gain of 11.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. You talk about this Bengals defense. They've been dreadful against the run. No getting around at number 32, dead last in the NFL.
They have tried all season long to fix all the things that they need to in the running game, and they have been successful so far. I'm wondering if this is a time to just sell out. Make sure you have 8 in the box every time and bring a 9th and sometimes even a 10th to try and stop them from running the ball.
16 yards is the pickup there and a first down for Chicago. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation? We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game, and it's not necessarily size. He's talking about playing some big boy football. Line up, get leverage, knock people back, and establish the run early.
Second and 9. Johnson on the counter, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense. I think in the future, if you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
The 7th play now of this opening drive. This is 3rd and long, though. Mayfield down. Oh, his first throw of the game going to be intercepted. And the Bengals are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. A very good starting field position for the Bengals here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll start this drive out on the ground. They find some open field here. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or 2 shy of the 40. First down yardage on the first play of the drive, 14 yards. That O-line, they cleared a big hole there on that run.
The athleticism of offensive lines continues to evolve, and we're seeing it here. Not only are they controlling things right at the line of scrimmage, but they're able to get upfield to get to what we call the 2nd and the 3rd levels. You know, get to the linebacker spot, the secondary spot, getting all the way downfield with their blocking, which helps keep the running back clean.
They'll try to continue that trend here this afternoon. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. The Bengals had a disappointing 0-4 through the first month of the year. It's been really a lost first month of the season, that's for sure.
And they still believe they have potential. They still believe they're a good team. But they have to absolutely start showing it right now. 0 for 4? That doesn't even sound right to them. But let's face it, you are what your record says you are until you break out of it.
The LSU connection. Burrow to Chase for the Cincinnati first.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Now Thomas. And he'll be out of bounds, able to get it down to the 25 there.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
From the 25, here's 2nd and 6. This is Thomas. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 6 yards to pick up, and that's a first down.
Yeah, once more, strong running, excellent blocking at the point of attack. They've got a nice little drive brewing right here.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. They run with Thomas, and he stopped immediately there. Tyreek Stevenson in on the stop. You don't see that a ton, do you? Or the cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
On the ground, it's Thomas. And they'll bring him down at the 13-yard line. Calling a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
11 empty.
Now it's Burrow. Buying time to his left. And probably the wise decision there. No one open. He just throws it away. And that keeps the field goal on the table as it's 4th down. Now the Bengals will settle for 3 as the field goal unit comes on here. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And his kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
Taken at the goal line. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And they'll be looking to make amends for that first drive, which came to a rather abrupt ending.
Certainly did. And I remember going back to my notes before this game. And a lot of times when I scout a guy, I have a little section about how does he handle adversity. And in this case, a big check mark. He may have thrown the first interception, but I don't think he's going to throw very many more.
They go play action. Mayfield. He'll get that complete to his tight end, Cole Kmet. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. His first catch, good for 14 there and a first down. Throwing, Mayfield. Going for the deep ball. And at the 7-yard line, the catch is made. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bears have answered that early field goal to take a first quarter lead. Lutz with the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. In the midst of, well, let's just say a not-so-rosy losing streak. They've got the open week, though, coming up next weekend, so you have to figure this to be a game that they dearly love to have.
Oh, indeed. They have to have this one because that's something positive to take with you when you go away for a few days, and it actually releases your mind. If they lose this one, that mind stays cluttered the entire time they're away. They've got to scramble to get back in sync when they start playing again.
11.
Burrow once again here on 2nd and 10. And he'll go down. The Bears get there for the sack. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
I spent a lot of extra time preparing for this game watching this offensive line because they gave up 5 sacks last week in their loss. They just gave up another one now. They don't seem to be working together as a cohesive unit. Right? 4 guys might have it right, but the 5th guy is giving something up. They've got to find a way to all get on the same page.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw, eluding the pressure right. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. After one, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. The Bengals bring out their punter now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Here's Jones on the return. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10.
At the Bengals' 46-yard line.
A first down throw for Mayfield. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
He's got Patterson on the out route, and he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the first down. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And this pass broken up. And the contact, well time there, and now 4th down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting it before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Mayfield to throw for it on 4th. Throw left side complete. That's Adams. Fighting through, and he's got space. And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line. 4th down, no problem. Just a ho-hum pickup of 14 to keep the offense on the field. They'll throw again. Here's Mayfield. He goes right back to Adams. That's complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Consecutive catches for him. That good for 11.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains. And really, it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised if they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
And the Bears are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
1st and goal, Chicago.
Mayfield to throw it. Touchdown! Davante Adams. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Bears are able to add on to that lead. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. Fighting his way through contact. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line.
At their own 22-yard line.
Here we go, here we go.
The Bengals drive about to get going.
Hey,
Well, partner, fast forward with me for a second. Remember, next week they have the open week, so they're going to get some extended rest. Does that change how they manage the rest of this one?
I think it does a little bit, but not by too much, because you're right. You get the extra rest, you get a chance to heal up and kind of do a little bit of a reset for this team. But it's also 7 extra days to think back to the last time you were on the field. So now, a little more importance on what they're getting done because they carry it with them for essentially 2 weeks.
Oh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
On one, ready?
The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15.
11, mighty.
Here's Burrow. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down.
And that's one of those plays where it's hard to keep 2 eyes on the football when you know the contact's coming, let alone getting 2 hands around it, hugging it to your body, and absorbing the hit. Even for those big tight ends who you would think could absorb that contact.
Here we go.
So they'll come up after the incompletion for 2nd down. Up the middle they go. Thomas. And he'll push forward for a couple to the 34.
11.
Not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now Joe Burrow on 3rd and long. Oh, he'll let one go deep for Higgins. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
Zone coverage there, and they were playing deep. That makes it obviously a little bit harder to run by guys. And that time, there was not much of a window to get the ball in there, and it winds up incomplete.
It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and the Bears take over.
At their own 30-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown. And their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Play fake. Mayfield. And this throw incomplete. The defender all over him that time, but it's going to lead to 3rd down.
It's another zone defense. It looks like it's open for possibilities, but they did a nice job patrolling the middle of the field and forcing an incompletion.
On 3rd down, Mayfield. Oh, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line.
Mayfield's pass intercepted. The Bengals take over 1st and 10 at the 26-yard line.
Here we go. Here we go.
On 1st down, It's Thomas, and he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
I think they want to start getting back into this game. It behooves them to get better on first down.
Yeah, certainly not what they were looking for there out of the opening play of this drive.
Gun.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
Shot.
They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas. They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. Well, they were handed great starting field position on this drive, but now they face a 3rd and 4. That is caught. And the Bengals are going to have 1st and goal as they try to finish off this drive with 6 points.
And this is an offense in need of getting a few good things to happen. Here's one right here. They've got their share of struggles in key moments, but that's a nice throw and nice work after the throw. And they're set up now with a 1st and goal.
Here we go.
1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game.
Shot.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And they'll take this into the end zone for Bengal TD. A great effort there. His 3rd rushing touchdown of the year. And the Bengals have cut it back within a score. Burrow and the Bengals offense staying put. They'll go for 2 here.
Shot.
They'll try and throw for it. And this one incomplete. So they went for the 2. They don't get it. So unable to throw it in for 2 from the 2. Let me ask you, as a former DB, what changes there around the goal line on a 2-point conversion as far as how you're defending it?
You just make sure you never back up and you never retreat. You establish yourself really on the line of scrimmage, put your heels on the goal line at worst. And if they're going to throw the ball, make them throw it over your head because they're going to run out of space because of the back of the end zone. Never let a guy catch one in front of you.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best of the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you, and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
The 2nd down and 10 there, knocked down as it leaves the quarterback's hand, and it's incomplete.
That was well played, but that was also an example of a corner who understands his coverage, realized he had support behind him, and could be a little more aggressive in the shorter zone, and did exactly that, knocking that pass away.
And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. Now the big play pushes them all the way out to the 40 now for 1st down. Here's Mayfield. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Patterson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the 2. And again, it's Mayfield. Looking deep here for Mooney. And this is caught inside the 5. A big play there just before halftime. 46 yards. Now that's 2 big catches that he's had on this drive alone.
And I can hear it right now. If they give up a 3rd to him, whoever does that, go stand on the other sideline. You're persona non grata on our team at that point.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. A great play there in the final seconds of the 1st half. And the Bears will extend their lead here just before halftime. Lutz good on the extra point, and it gives his guys a 12-point advantage. So 6 seconds, all that remains of this 1st half as the kick is away. Fair catch going to be taken, and this will be moved out to the 25.
Take over first and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
On one, ready?
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And only 6 seconds on the clock, so time likely for just one play. Here's a run on first down that won't even get back to the line of scrimmage. He will lose a yard. 2nd and 11.
Get set. 11, 11, 11, 11. 12, 12, 12. 11, Thomas. Stop.
Final play of the half for Burrow and company. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Johnson. And he will be brought down on what will be the final play of this first half. So we've hit intermission. It's halftime. This is the NFL, and it's a presentation of EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth, ready for quarter number 3. The Bucs set to get the football first, and they trail here as we get started in the second half. This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone, and only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives, try and slow things down a little bit.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
The offense staying out there. They look prepared to go here on 4th and 10. They'll try and throw forward with Burrow. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he is going to have the Bengals first down. And it is a big letdown there defensively. They somehow allowed to convert on 4th and long.
On one, ready?
To the air again, Burrow. To the right side and complete to Thomas. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Caught that look from you there, partner. I think we're on the same page on that one. Just his first catch. I think we both thought he'd be a little more active in the passing game. Let's see if that's the start of them trying to get the ball to him a little bit more here in the second half.
Throwing again on 2nd down, but this time it's incomplete.
Another attempt, another incompletion, and when I look at the scoreboard and where we are in this game, it comes to mind that they have to start getting the ball in the hands of their playmakers. Throw it to the guys that maybe can take a short pass and turn it into a long gain or make people miss downfield. They've got to have points, and the guys who can put the ball in the end zone, they're the ones that need to touch the ball.
11, 11, 11.
Burrow on 3rd down. He's across midfield. And finally taken down at the 30-yard line. Well, they were in search of a short gain on third down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards. So into Bear territory now. This is 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Thomas, and that didn't fool anybody. He's going to be dropped in the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Just a yard there, so it brings up a tough 3rd and 12.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Third down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. Jamal Chase, 32 yards. And the Bengals are back within a score. Well executed there offensively. Defense looked a little confused, but he found his receiver, and that one good for 6 points.
And the payoff we just saw there tells us how many times they ran this play in practice over the past few weeks, because they executed that flawlessly right here on game day when the situation arose.
The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. Here's Jones to bring it out of the end zone. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20.
The Bears take over 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line.
At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. But Charles, they still have the lead despite their defense giving up a touchdown on the previous possession. And even though they have that lead, it feels like a back-and-forth ball game where to try to get momentum back, maybe they need at least 3 here on this drive.
I think you're right about that, Brandon, because your game plan doesn't change. I do believe your urgency does because of the last score that went against your team. So what you want to do now is have your own drive and try and make sure that that momentum stays in your camp.
Oh, a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
Well, you most certainly don't want to go 3 and out here and get the football right back, because your friend, Old Momentum, he's wondering if he should change sidelines about right now. And if you don't convert here, guess what? He's going to make the trek to the opposite side, and all of a sudden, you've got a battle on your hands.
So after the 2nd down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. Mayfield looks to throw. He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
We'll call it a 42-yard punt, 3 on the return. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10.
Here we go, here we
The
go.
Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. A long drive last time out for this offense, Charles. If you remember, they started basically in the shadows of their own end zone, marched it down the field, and a lot of that was through the passing game.
And partner, as a former defensive back, I'm having almost a physical reaction watching what's happening right now. But let's give credit where it's due, because they've done an excellent job moving the ball through the air. Secondary getting picked apart pass by pass. Obviously, they need to make some adjustments there on the back end.
Yeah, because offensively, we know that they're not going to be shy about throwing that football. On 2nd down, it's Thomas. 4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
Look, I realize on any play call, when it's properly executed, and go for a touchdown. But the runs that really make it work are the ones where you just get what you need, right? And he barely got the first down, but he got it.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. Thomas has got it, complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
A great job there, and that old cliche, taking what the defense gives you, comes right into play. Nothing too out of the ordinary about the throw. Just a little dump off over the middle. But what is out of the ordinary is what he did with it after the catch. Not only did he grab the ball, but how about the significant yardage he picked up after he pulled it in.
1st down, here's Burrow. And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
Now Burrow to throw on 2nd down. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line. So that'll leave Burrow and the Bengals with a 3rd and long after that sack we just saw.
11, 11, 11. 11, mighty. 11, mighty.
They're going to look to throw. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made here at the Bears' 15-yard line. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. From the red zone now, here's Burrow 1st down. He gets it to Thomas. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
Bet you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage.
And the Bengals are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
I love the drive they're working on here because they know they can take the lead with a touchdown. And so far on this drive, so good. They moved the ball down the field with very little resistance defensively. But they better be prepared for some adjustments to come their way now.
And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. We have played 3 quarters. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4.
Here we go, here we go.
Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. Now Burrow. And he's got his man in stride, complete. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
Yeah, so the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. They'll run here on 3rd and goal. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down.
11, 11, 11.
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And it's going to be batted down, and will go the other way with the football. They can't hook up on 4th and goal from the 4, and the Chicago defense able to come up with a goal line stand. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. Their defense forced the turnover on downs. They've got the lead. They're in good shape, but can't go into a shell here, right? Still got to be careful.
Yeah, because they're still a long way away from kneel down time. So they've got to work on getting 1st downs, keep the sticks moving, right? Keep the clock going, and above all, ball security. Don't turn it over.
They try and run on 1st down, but this one's going to lose a couple yards as they get him behind the line.
Sometimes being a linebacker in the middle of the field is kind of like being a doctor on the field. You got to make the right diagnosis. Here he correctly resets his run and shoots through to make the play in the backfield.
Mayfield now on second down. There's a short throw. It's caught by Kmet. And he gets this up just shy of the 30 to the 29 before he's out of bounds. And Charles, of interest here, that last throw is going to put him over 20,000 yards passing for his career. And that's not a bad number.
You're exactly right about that. And even though it's nowhere near the top of the leaderboard, because when you think about it, Brady and Breeze, they've done that 4 times over. But when you hit 20,000, let's face it, only a little over 100 guys have ever done that in the NFL. It's worthy of some applause.
46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. It's taken to the 26. It's a 42-yard punt, but 8 on the return. And the Bengals take over 1st and 10. The Bengals drive about to get going. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. This drive starting off on the right foot, 18 yards.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there, not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed, too.
And he's got it. Touchdown, Bengals. Jamar Chase with his 2nd touchdown of the afternoon. And the Bengals have taken a 4th quarter lead. Might be seeing that one on the highlight. And now remember, all touchdowns are reviewed. And in a tight game like this, they're going to take a good long look at it. So they called it a touchdown originally, and this will stay a touchdown after the video review, so they had it right. They'll try and run it here, and he will not get there. He comes up short, and they're unable to push this lead to a field goal as it'll remain a 1-point game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. And he'll get it up past the 20 to about the 22. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And now they'll look to answer working from behind. And remember, this offense has sputtered yet to score here in the second half. They'll need to change that here. Throwing on 1st down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. Here's 2nd and 10. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. And he's got Ezekiel Elliott. And he takes this up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. A good pickup, 17 yards and a Bear 1st down.
Well, this offense hasn't been at their best here. They've made some mistakes. They've been frustrated. They've been largely shut down. But then you look up and say, wait a second, this is a 1-score game. So they're still very much in this. And
pressure comes and down goes Baker Mayfield. Trey Hendrickson showing off his pass rush repertoire that time. They tried to go with a little play action there, but nobody on the defensive side bit.
Yeah, they adjusted in time and in a big way and ultimately got the sack on offense. Sometimes you're running play action just to set up a certain blocking technique. In this case, none of it worked.
It's a pickup of 12, and that'll set up a 3rd down. This a big play for both sides. What will we see here? 3rd and 4. Mayfield down. That's caught inside the 20. Touchdown, Chicago. Devontae Adams with his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Bears answer back with a touchdown of their own to take a 4th quarter lead. So minutes after giving up the lead in the 4th quarter, they say not so fast. Big play, and they grab that lead right back.
Talk about a seesaw game. Up, down, up, down. Did you have a seesaw? Did you play that when you were
Oh, yeah. Out on the playground, absolutely.
You got to make sure that you match the weight though on the other side. Otherwise, you could be up in the air a long time.
By the way, we're not done in this one. I think we're set up for an exciting finish. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25.
Here we go.
The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. We certainly have a good one on our hands. They're trailing after that last touchdown, but now a chance for this offense to try to snag that lead right back here in the fourth quarter. And that's caught inside the 35. A big play there for Cincinnati. 46 yards.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
Gun.
All three timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10. Up the middle they go. Thomas knifes his way forward here, but just 3 yards on the play. 2nd down. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get your reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire.
Here we go.
Here's a 2nd and 7. They'll keep it on the ground. Thomas. And a hard-working run here as he's got it inside the 20, down to the 17. And now all of a sudden the shoe's kind of on the other foot. Maybe you pull the reins back here a bit?
Yeah, a little bit because you got to make sure that you don't score too quickly.
Here we go.
Here's 1st down. Now a handoff up the middle. It's Thomas.
Partner, you've got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here.
On one, ready?
The ball on the 16 for 2nd and 10. To throw, Burrow. That's going to be caught at the 10-yard line. He takes it across for the touchdown, and they've taken the lead late in the final minute of the 4th. Wow. So they get their tight end away from the line to the outside, and he works his way in for 6.
Tight ends are not just blockers anymore. I don't know how many more times we need examples, but here's a great one. Gets to the outside, they give him the ball pretty quickly, and they trust him to get those extra yards, and boy, did he come through, bowling his way into the end zone after the nice catch.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. The kicking team out now for the Bengals as they'll send this one away. On the return is Jones from the end zone. And they'll get him down right at the 25-yard line, so the same result, but he opted for the touchback. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Mayfield. And Mayfield will have a 1st down as he's able to slide to avoid the contact there at the end of the play. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts as they get it right at the 32nd mark of this 4th quarter. Mayfield. Flushed out right. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. I see you nodding your head up and down. It's a very heady decision at this stage of the game. Out of the pocket, nowhere to go. Just get rid of it.
That's a smart play because you're not worried about your completion percentage, and you're also not trying to force it into bad traffic as well. Throw the ball away, live to fight another down.
He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be 3rd down.
keep going for the big shot, right? So defensively, you play what they call top down. Nothing behind you. Make everything get completed in front.
He's got Mooney. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Now they burn the timeout. And they're kind of in that gray area where they might be able to get 2 plays in, but maybe just 1 play left in this ball game. We'll see. Here's Baker. He'll let this go for Adams. And that's going to be incomplete.
That's taking a big risk at this late stage. They're not thinking field goal, though. They wanted to leave no doubt on that one. So they took the shot at the end zone, but it winds up incomplete.
They'll try again here. 2nd and 10. One last shot for Mayfield here. And it's incomplete. So their final drive comes up empty. And with that, the ball game is over.